everybody, and welcome to Matterley Basin, round 12 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. This is the MXGP of Great Britain, and we are about 5 miles outside the city of Winchester, just north of the south coast of England, a stone's throw away from Southampton. We're not that far away from London either, the capital. That's just about an hour and a half northwest of where we are. But this weekend, motocross returns to the Basin. The first ever Grand Prix held on these shores was back in 1957, or the first ever winner, like say, was Jeff Smith. That was 1957. He was riding a 500cc BSA back then. 18 British victories from 11 different riders. Smith with most of those. Dave Thorpe has 3, James Dobb, Tommy Searle have 2 apiece. And there are a handful of riders with a victory under their belts as well. But this beautiful, picturesque circuit in the Hampshire hillside in the south of England is a really absolute gem of a racetrack. If you've never been here before, I'm sure you've seen it on TV before, but that's what it looks like from above on the track map. 1,880 meters long. From the finish line there, bottom of your screen, we continue through the couple of jumps, turn right, down the start straight. And it's a BMX style drop-in start through that first sweeping turn. We go over the foxhole shot line. We'll get a GoPro track preview in a minute, but we've got the 4 intermediate sectors there. Jago Geerts was victorious when we came here last in 2023 because we didn't have a GP in 24 because of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. But coming into this Grand Prix this weekend, Simon Längenfelder did hold a 27-point advantage over Andrea Adamo, with Kai de Wolf another 10 points further back. There is the championship leader, the red plate. But what is the situation now? Well, we'll see the qualifying highlights shortly, and then we'll do the points breakdown after that. But if you haven't seen this racetrack before and didn't watch the Motocross of Nations last year, haven't watched any of the action now, here's how it looks. Here's Ben Watson with our GoPro track preview. So Ben Watson then, the start mesh just behind him, just behind those barriers, so they will start level, and then they'll drop the clutch, drop in onto this down run, and then it levels out down into this wide sweeping left first turn, 180 degrees, dropping away on the downhill slightly. There's the foxhole shot line. Now, past pit lane immediately. Now, from the finish line, which takes us back down the start straight, through here, this right-hander, bottom of the hill, we hit this small double jump. Sector 1 ends around about now, just into that dip. We go through that left-hand turn, turn 4, over a couple of waves, into this right sweeping turn, over the tabletop, right in front of the fan zone. They were watering the track after the MXGP free practice when he did the lap here, because it was so hot and humid and windy yesterday. We needed to keep moisture on the circuit. Through turn 6, drop down over the Monster Energy step down, then we go left through turn 7, over this single, and then turn 8 is this turn here. You can go outside. Either way, we're stepping down, preparing to hit the quad. Ben just going triple single here. Sector 2 ending around about now into that right-hand turn, turn 9. Then we triple into the city waves, followed by double single. Inside, outside. Outside today after fresh track watering was working really, really well. Or you've got that 2 little singles. Either way, we're up here into this sweeping turn onto the plateau. Used to be a Monster Energy double here. Now it's just a straight run onto this flat turn. But this turn 12 off cambered goes on forever and ever and ever, eventually starts to tighten up around about now. The higher you are to the inside, the tighter or the more severe that off camber is, but that should even itself out with a few ruts here and there. Through the next left turn, sector 3 ending now on the base of that jump, so we're now into the final sector as we step down into the valley for the final time. Get out of there, hit the liquid moly tabletop. A lot straighter than it used to be on the landing than years gone by. It used to sort of turn through the air before landing. This is the run up towards the finish line, a triple into the left. You can go outside or inside. The final corner here before the finish line off cambered again, so you've got to be really cautious on the throttle, especially if it's flat. You see the loose stones. Here's the Monster Energy finish line jump. Another tabletop follows, and as we get to the end of this next straight, we pull a 180 off this drop off, back down the start straight for another lap of Matterley Basin.
Thank you.
So that was our GoPro track preview. few moments ago, the riders disappeared, or they're just disappearing out now on the track for their sighting lap ahead of MX2 race 1. A few moments ago, Lisa Leyden was down on the grid, and she caught up with David Braceras, and before that, Simon Längenfelder.
We're almost ready for MX2 race 1 here in Matterley Basin, but let's grab a few words with Red Bull KTM Factory MX2 rider Simon Längenfelder. Simon, you picked up a double race win victory here at Matterley Basin in 2022. I think that was your first Grand Prix overall. You picked up a race win here in 2023. You were fastest in time practice yesterday. You picked up the quali race win yesterday. What is it about this track here in the UK that you think just perhaps suits you?
I really like it, I think, because it's a bit technical. It has big jumps, like normally deep ruts. Today a few more than yesterday, but yeah, it just seems to suit me.
Well, you do have the red plate. You have a convincing championship lead. I know in the past you've told me, Simon, that you don't really want to talk about it. It's not something you're thinking about. But at this stage, we're past the midway point. When do you start thinking about that championship lead and the overall?
I think just like yesterday I was talking with them about it, and it's like now we're just in the middle of the season still.
Yeah.
The season is flying by, and I'm just trying to do my best. I think the red plate doesn't change the approach on my racing, but I'm just trying to do my best. I think it shows that I'm in a good mood right now, and just trying to continue like this.
Have a good race. Thank you. Let's have a quick catch-up now with David Braceras, mainly because in the qualifying race yesterday you picked up your best result in a qualifying race, P8. How are you feeling out there? Because you were looking good.
Yeah, this track I feel really good yesterday, also today. In time practice I did P7, then quali race I did P8. I start quite good, I was P6, even one lap or 2 laps P5, but then I did 2 small mistakes on the triple, I lose 2 places. But yeah, I finished P8, I feel really good all day, all weekend, so hope for a good start and right in front.
You say you're hoping for a good start. In a track like this, you've got that downhill, almost BMX-style start. A good start's always important, but is it more important on this track or not?
Yeah, because the track is quite fast and also quite difficult to pass. So if you can start in front and go with the group in front, just can be a really good race.
Well, have a good one. Thank you, David. Okay, good luck to all the guys. It's time for MX2 race 1.
So a few moments ago, you saw the riders disappearing out on track for their sighting lap. They are now working their way back towards the skybox and the waiting zone, getting ready to line up behind the gates for the first time today. And you can see how much water they put down on the track as well, so it could be a little bit muddy to start with here on this dry weekend in the south of England. Take a look at the qualifying highlights from yesterday then. They went a little bit like this. Gates dropped, beautiful blue skies, hot conditions as well, humid conditions. On board here with Elzinger. As he swept through the first turn, it was Langenfelder, closely followed by Sascha Kühnen over the Foxhole shot line. And then dropping downhill right at the end of the day, that was Kaiser Wolf tipping over from about 5th place. The defending champion picked himself up in 25th, but it would not go swimmingly after that. Bearing in mind, he'd already crashed in time practice over the finish line jump as well when he got it completely wrong. He got it wrong here as well, whilst up into, well, barely into the top 20. Eventually came home in 18th. Simon Längenfelder, though, the red plate holder, had a 27-point lead coming into this weekend, and with his rivals behind him, either way, he was going to extend that advantage. Andrea Adamo was his closest rival coming into the qualifying race. He was in 4th before falling down to 7th and climbing his way back into 5th place. But Langenfelder, this was the mistake that Adamo did make. He caught the rear wheel of Thibaut Beniston, picked himself up in that 7th place and would have to do it all again. So once again, it was advantage to Langenfelder. That was a mistake that David Braceras just mentioned a moment ago. Got it wrong there. That cost him a position to Oriol Oliver. Adamo also found his way past. Braceras then was running in 7th, but Thibaut Beniston was on a bit of a charge, homing in on the 19 of Sascha Kühnen, and with 2 laps to go, the Frenchman went around the outside on his Monster Energy Yamaha and moved into 2nd, and the Red Bull KTM 1-2 had now been broken up by the boy in blue. Adamo got the better of Oriol Oliver with 2 laps to go as well as he moved into that 5th place. 6 crucial qualifying points at the top of the championship, but no one was a match for Simon Längenfelder. His 4th qualifying race win in the season from Benetton, Everts, Kuhnen and Adamo. And the pass that Everts made on Kuhnen was right there in the final turn on the final lap to get him into that 3rd place. Kuhnen eventually came home in 4th. So the championship now looks like this. Simon Längenfelder 31 clear of Adamo, so extending his lead by another 4 points over the Italian. Kai de Wolf 16 adrift of Adamo now. So he's got a mountain to climb in this second half of the season with time running out. Everts 51 adrift of de Wolf, and then we've got Sascha Kuhnen back there in 5th place. Valerio Latta, he's in 8th position in the championship standings. He started the first lap up inside the top 2 or 3 riders, but then did not finish the race because he picked up a shoulder injury after that crash with de Wolf on the finish line jump in time practice. And lined up, wasn't sure how he would feel, but he went out in the warm-up session, and Valerio Latta looked okay in the warm-up session, so hopefully he will go out in the race today. Simon Längenfelder then lines up on pole. From Thibaut Beniston, Liam Everts, Sascha Kuhnen, Andrea Adamo, Oriol Oliver, Camden McClellan and David Braceras on the JM Honda, Mathis Valland, KRT, Kawasaki Racing Team, and Maxime Gros for the KTM squad there. But Carlos Racialis, quiet race for him. Guillaume Ferrez likewise, Julius Mikela, Quentin Marc Prunier, Rick Elzinger and Kai Karsmakers. Then we've got Volk, Kai de Wolf, Jens Wolvort, Magnus Smith, Philip Olsen, Colin Warnes, Emile de Beer and Rodolfo Bacalio. Florio Mio and Nick Venikins will also take to the gate today. Simon Längenfelder lines up on pole position. He's extended his lead from his qualifying race result from 27 to 31. That's more than a race victory. It could have gone the other way, less than 25 points, and therefore less than a race victory. But Simon Längenfelder coming to a place that he knows and likes and is feeling very, very comfortable at. Thibaut Beniston, 2nd in the qualifying race. The Monster Energy Yamaha rider looking for a good result here. He's only got 2 podiums so far in 2025. Looking to add to that today. Liam Everts looking cool, calm and collected. Found his way past Sascha Kuhnen for 3rd. Right on the very final corner of the qualifying race to pick up another 8 championship points. The only rider to finish or to score points in every single qualifying race so far in 2025, Liam Everts. Andrea Adamo up and down yesterday, was pushing for 3rd place, ended up going down when he caught the rear wheel of Thibaut Beniston, went down to 7th, got himself back up to 5th with a couple of laps to go when he made a move on Oriol Oliver. The Gabriel SS24 KTM Factory Junior rider looking good round here in the quali race. The number 8 of Camden McClellan. Big weekend for Triumph Motorcycles, and the Monster Energy Triumph rider brought home 7th in the qualifying race, obviously hoping for better today if he can. A few Latvian flags here this weekend. For that man right there, Carlos Racialis. Monster Energy Yamaha rider started 9th, eventually came home in 11th place, but circuit conditions very different yesterday to what they are today, and automatically you would assume therefore we should get different kind of racing, different kind of results. Only one way to find out, get these gates dropped as soon as possible. You see the shirts, the race jerseys flapping in the wind there, the breeze just starting to pick up here as the wind howls through this shallow basin here at Matterley. The Fly Racing 15-second board up for the first time this weekend. The MXGP of Great Britain here at Matterley Basin, MX2 Race 1. Langenfelder, your championship leader, in the inside gate. Pulled a rocket of a whole shot yesterday. Can he do the same when it matters today? It was a great reaction from the German. And Beniston gets squeezed between Langenfelder and Everts. Those two right at the back, and it's Adamo who holds the line through the middle of the turn. It's going to be Andrea Adamo with the foxhole shot for the 4th time this year. Langenfelder a few positions further back, but it's Oliver in second. As they work their way uphill, Sasha Kunin in third. Braceras with that good start that he was talking about in fourth place. Then we got Langenfelder in there. Over on the right side, just dropping into view now. Red plate splattered in mud. McClellan, Carsmakers, Perez, Mikula and De Wolf around about 10th place at the moment. Everts around about 13th. Beniston around about 20th position. Far side of the circuit, we've got a new leader. Oliver leading the way from Adamo. The 51 with a clear track ahead of him. What can the Gabriel SS24 KTM rider do from here? Here's how he did it, look, tripling up. Got up the inside, was more confident going into those ruts. And he picked off Adamo at the first opportunity.
He leads down the SWP hill for the first time. Wow, number 51, Oriol Oliver.
So the Spaniard leading the way. Remember, it won't count until we get from finish line to finish line. McClellan looking to charge down the inside. Oh, sorry, Perez down the inside of Langenfelder. Langenfelder just muscled his way across. Half triples the jump up towards the finish line. That messed him up through the next corner as well, actually. But let's get the riders over the line here because we'll get a real perspective of what's happening. Oliver, we know, is leading. Adamo is second. Sasha Kunin in third. Braceras fourth. Langenfelder in fifth. But Guillaume Perez looking to give him a friendly nudge. Doesn't need to give him that nudge, but does find his way past and into fifth position. The 33 of Kai Carsmakers there, following Kai De Wolf. So the two Dutch riders, De Wolf moving up into seventh, and Carsmakers in eighth place. McClellan just behind them in ninth. Ooh, I'll tell you what, that was close up between him and Valin. Valin was there briefly. McClellan finding his way back by. Great start this for the JM Honda of David Braceras. Wave yellows, one of the leaders is down surely. It's Adamo out of second place. Slippery conditions, difficult for visibility and maybe even difficult to pass. You can't afford those kind of mistakes, especially when you've got this much water on the track as well. Rider in front of you splashes through that, messes up your visibility even more. So Adamo out of second. Watch what happens here. Top corner. Just lost the front on the way out. Simple error. He'll be kicking himself. He's now in 10th place. So Oliver continues to lead by 4.7 seconds. Sasha Kunin is second. Braceras in third. Perez fourth on the number 99, about to hit the jump now. Then Langenfelder, not in a hurry to move forward because he knows De Wolf is behind him and he knows now Adamo is behind him. Langenfelder in fifth, De Wolf 6, Carsmakers 7, Valin 8, McClellan 9, Everts 10, Volk 11, Adamo down to 12th position. Oh, a practice start there for Braceras, slow to get out of the corner in that third position. Obviously had a moment. He's now put himself under pressure from fellow Spaniard, Guillaume Perez. Rule number one, beat your local countryman. Perez tried to chuck it around the outside. Braceras responds immediately to maintain that third place. Great tussle between the two Spaniards. And the JM Honda rider still hanging on, just lucky to collect the front end there as it buried itself into that berm. Top of the hill, that right-hander. And now trip each other up. Guess who's going to be waiting in the wings, nice and patiently, politely waiting to pick up the pieces. Simon Längenfelder in fifth position. Spoke to Kai de Wolf about his mishap on the finish line yesterday in time practice. When he went down, I said, was it a scrub that went wrong? He said, no, I changed my line because I wanted to get a fast lap in, came more to the inside, back up, the back wheel spun up on takeoff, and that was it. He knew Latta was there as well, so he also wanted to get that lap in before Latta came by him. Of course, it all ended in tears, didn't it? Yeah, Valerio Latta deciding after free practice this morning, after the warm-up, not to go out on track today and join the race. Needs a little bit more time with that shoulder than originally thought. Kai de Wolf closing in on Langenfelder. Like a red rag to a bull at the moment. Simon Längenfelder in the eyes of Kai de Wolf. Again, Langenfelder tripling in, bouncing past the turn as he comes up short. 2 official laps complete. Sasha Kunin the fastest on track at the moment, 2:06.6. Just to give you an indication in terms of lap times yesterday in the qualifying race, right at the end of the day when it was at its driest, fastest, loosest, slickest, 2:01.151. So we're about 5 seconds off of that with the conditions we have today. Perez up to third. He's found his way past Braceras. Kai de Wolf honing in on the German, the red plate holder, the championship leader. A little bit further down the order, Simon Längenfelder tries to find his way past Braceras. Adamo and Everts fighting over 10th place. Here's Everts on the Nistan Husqvarna, runs it wide, and Adamo slips up the inside. Does he maintain the pass? This is heading up towards the final climb. Yes, he does. And there's their payback here from Everts. Final corner, exactly what he did to Sasha Kunin. Got up the inside, roughed Adamo up the wrong way. Everts into 10th. Just behind de Wolf, Kai Karsmakers. Great to see the private Kawasaki there in 7th position on the number 33, closing in on these 2 riders. But Kai de Wolf looking at the target, that 27 of Langenfelder, just there ahead of him, knows if he makes a pass, he can probably go on to distance himself from the German, but he comes up short there. So too does Kai Karsmakers. And McClellan, bar to bar as they hit the triple. McClellan gets the better of the Dutchman through the penultimate corner, and McClellan will cross the line in 7th place. Watch this here, tucks it to the inside and makes the pass stick before the final turn. McClellan now 7th, and Braceras on borrowed time here. He's got Langenfelder charging him down. This is for 4th place. Langenfelder holds the inside line. Whoa, I tell you what, how did Braceras stay up there? Front in one rut, the back in the other. You don't get more cross-rutted than that. Somehow he managed to stay on 2 wheels, Braceras, as Langenfelder went through into 4th. Still a good effort from the Spaniard on the JM Honda. Oh, Elzinger is out. And that doesn't look like it was from a crash either, judging by the body language and the way he just let that bike drop. I remember my first ever meeting as a Team Green rider at 8 years old. My boss at the time, Kawasaki, said no matter what the problem, never blame the bike, never throw it down. No matter how annoyed you are. And if it runs out of petrol, it's a technical issue. If the chain breaks, it's a technical problem. If it seizes, it's a technical problem. But never, ever throw your bike down like that in disgust. Braceras still hanging on to that 5th place. Langenfelder clearing off as he chases down Guillaume Ferrez for a top 3 position. Yeah, Elzinga, dejected and disgruntled, walks away. Probably won't even call by the pit garage. He'll walk back, get changed. Won't even need for a shower because we're only done 4 laps and he's only done 3 of them. But Oliver, 6.4 seconds clear at the head of the field. The Spaniard at the moment has just put his best lap in, a 2:05.9. But the fastest man on track is your championship leader, Simon Längenfelder, in 4th place. The Red Bull KTM, just 1.4 seconds behind Guillaume Ferrez. Oh, how did De Wolf stay up there? Lost the front, lost the back. That was a corner he fell at the start of the qualifying race, where he just tucked the front on the right side. Here's Langenfelder going around the outside of Ferrez. This is for 3rd. Ferrez closes him down abruptly and aggressively. Anything to hang on that Monster Energy Triumph to that 3rd place. Triple single, Langenfelder charges down the inside here. He will take command of 3rd. Ferrez now 4th. Meanwhile, De Wolf has got himself back onto the rear wheel of Braceras. But knock knock, who's there? Camden McClellan. McClellan looking like he's on form here at the moment as well, looking to find his way past his golf partner buddy. On the track, it's all business though.
Langenfelder through the circle.
De Wolf hanging off the side of his Nissan Husqvarna, coming out of that bottom corner. Look who's closing in. Mathis Valin, 317 on the Kawasaki Racing Team machine, putting these guys under pressure. The rider with the most pressure though, Braceras in 5th. He looks back behind him and he'll see De Wolf, defending world champion, Camden McClellan, former junior world champion, or European champion. Valin, 125. Starlet, European 250 champ last year. But what about Oriol Oliver? Love to see a little bit of Oliver up front actually, but 5 seconds clear when you've got this kind of battle going on for 5th place, involving championship protagonists like Kai De Wolf here, number 1. Here is Oliver. So the Gabriel SS24 KTM rider from Spain. What a fantastic race he's having. Got to the front early, found his way past Adamo on the opening lap. Probably feels like a home Grand Prix for him here as he rides the British Championship since moving to that Gabriel SS24 KTM. But he's looking solid, isn't he, at the minute? Just keeping his head down. Just clicking off his laps, hitting his marks. Hopefully that's his motto throughout this race. Just keep doing that, and the rest will take care of itself. Sasha Kunin, 4.5 seconds behind. Kunin was quicker than him that time around, 2:04.8, a full second quicker. So are we getting to a point where maybe Oliver starting to think about the bigger picture here, thinking, oh, okay, I can win this. Actually, I actually think I can win this. See the lap times this time around, 2:05.2, so at least it was a consistent lap. 2 laps in a row, both times in the 2:05s. But so too Sasha Kunin, 2:04s, but the gap 5.021, so it's still hovering there. 5 seconds, not under pressure. Langenfelder with another fastest lap of the race, 2:03.9, 6.5 seconds behind Sasha Kunin. Was a second quicker than Kunin though that time around, so it's going to be Kunin that comes under pressure first from Langenfelder if he continues that kind of pace. De Wolf 6, McClellan 7, Valin 8, Everts 9, Adamo 10, Kaz Volk, Quentin Prunier for WZ. Then Benniston up to 13, Carsmakers 14, Racialist, Latter is there in 16, Groh, Walvort, Mikola and Smith, and then Olsen just outside of the points. How much longer can Braceras hang on for here? De Wolf looking for a different way through that turn. Oh, Oliver down through the waves. Sasha Kunin, your new leader. Just cross-rotted. Came in on a slick patch. Quick to get to his feet, but golden opportunity gone for Oliver. Didn't look like he did too much wrong there either. And Langenfelder closing in on him now in third. But a gift for Sasha Kunin, he won't mind about that. He's thrown away his fair share of race wins. We only have to go back to Germany. Race 2 to see that one. And McClellan is up to 6th position as well. He's eased by De Wolf. Triple single into the inside. He's going to get his elbows out. Yes, he does. McClellan on the charge, up to 6th. Big test now for Oliver. How does he react to that mistake? Can he get back into his groove and focus immediately on the task at hand? Got a 4th in race 1 in France, a 5th in race 2 in Germany. Oh, whose seat was that fell off? Somebody's seat laying there, I think, in the track. Anyway, Oliver will now have Simon Längenfelder breathing down his neck for the next 13 minutes plus 2 laps or thereabouts. Comes in a bit hot there, starting to feel the pressure, trying to rectify that mistake from a lap ago. Still putting everything into this race though, the 51. Simon Längenfelder. Well, the fact that McClellan found his way by gives him another point at the top of the championship in terms of advantage and all the rest of it. But it's Sasha Kunin who leads. He was a 2:05.7 last time. Oliver's mistake cost him about 10 seconds when he fell, because it was a 2:15.1. Langenfelder 2:04, despite everything else going on around him. Just checking the sector times here. First and second, Kunin and Oliver. Sectors 1 to 3 so far, 31.7, 31.8, 34.6, 34.3. Pull a bit back, 32.2, 32.4. So, depending on what happens here in the final sector, gap should be around about the same, 4.3-ish. Between first and second. So Kunin over the line, 8 laps complete, goes through in a 2:05.9, 2:05.8, gap 4.2. The top 3, very, very similar lap times, within a 10th of each other. Langenfelder looking to sweep through that first turn, hang off the back, find those gear changes as he pursues Oliver down the start straight. Ferez, 4th, Braceras still hanging on to 5th. McClellan right there behind him in 6th, De Wolf 7th, angry that he's been passed. There's Valin. It's time, it's been time since the gate dropped. That would be my reply. Langenfelder. And finds his way past. Wasn't a pretty landing, was it? But I think he made the move before that, just on the base of the jump. Langenfelder now up in the second. Oliver 3rd, still the best for him. Career best in MX2. We'll never know what happened. Yeah, look, coming out of the turn, just because of the angle that Langenfelder took off here and jumped from right to left. Snuck up the inside. That was Langenfelder into second place. Oliver now, maybe just having a quick look around, taking stock of the situation. Realised probably hasn't got anything for Langenfelder on this occasion, but had he not fallen, maybe the concentration and the pace could have seen him. May have won the race, may have still finished top three, who knows? Valland just here, bottom right, 3:17. Valland in 8th place, going after De Wolf, the number 1, the defending champ. And it's De Wolf who tries to get alongside McClellan. Elbows weren't big enough. On that occasion, wiping his goggles, he's out of laminates. De Wolf, so he's riding blind with about 9 minutes to go. Camden McClellan ducking his head up to avoid the roost off of Braceras as well in the process. The intensity of this battle here for 5th place. Just looking up at the screen, Langenfelder set 2 of the fastest sectors in 3 and 4 of the race. That time around. He's now going after Coonan, the gap only 1.5 seconds. Langenfelder believes he can win the race. Braceras hanging on for dear life for 5th position here. Hasn't had the easiest season so far, but a season's best race result was 4th in race 1 in Argentina. No top 10 finishes since then, apart from 10th place here and there on a couple of occasions. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead. Wouldn't have said this a lap ago, but Langenfelder, as we have already pointed out, has a very, very good feeling around this racetrack in terms of race wins, Grand Prix victories, fast laps, quali wins. And even early on in the race, he didn't panic, did he? Just kept his cool, calm composure and gradually whittled down Sasha Coonan now to put himself in a position to fight for a race win.
Inside, Jeff, I reckon. Outside, inside, over the tabletop. Here we go. It's going to be on this.
But the gap they have now is around about 6 seconds over Oriol Oliver, who has about 5 in hand over Ferrez. He thought about tripling. I think he bailed last minute there, Langenfelder. 10 laps complete when they hit the line this time around. Nothing in it between Coonan and Langenfelder. They say fight for the race win in this first race at Matterley Basin. Langenfelder already a 5-time race winner in 2025. Sasha Coonan with 2 wins. Right, Braceras is dropping down the leaderboard here to 7. Here's how. So McClellan at the top of the hill, moving into 5th place. De Wolf, not close enough, but then a couple of corners later, drifts it down the inside. Braceras saw that white fender come through, had to lift his leg before dropping down into the valley. And Evans has gone through as well, into 7. So McClellan up to 5th, De Wolf 6. Everts in 7th place, Braceras now in 8th. Simon Längenfelder, stoic and sturdy at the head of the field here, pushing Sasha Coonan. See how slick it is when you get out of that turn onto that bare rock. Little hesitant there for Sasha Coonan coming out of that left turn, top of the hill, turn 11. Langenfelder looking to swing around the outside here through turn 12, that long, ongoing, forever camber, the camber that never ends. Can he cut back across here? He thought about it, yes. Couldn't quite make it happen. Got another opportunity here this time. He outsmarts the Belgian and then triples his way up and over the hill into the penultimate corner. Langenfelder leads at the end of lap 11. And already 1.3 seconds clear but his lap time, 2:04.9 compared to Koonen's 2:07.5. Left the door open there. Langenfelder had already figured him out. Wasn't as deep on the exit of the turn as well, so he got better drive. Wasn't getting dragged back by the heavier conditions. So Simon Längenfelder leads with about 4.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Let's take another look at the start then, shall we? Good reaction there from Langenfelder, but then behind him, Thibaut Beniston and Everts, they banked bars as Andrea Adamo bagged himself the foxhole shot. For the 4th time this year, another angle, there's Valerio Latta right on the outside gate. Trying to cut across there. Valerio Latta now in 15th place, but he gets pushed wide on the exit of the turn. A little bit of bar banging shenanigans going on in the middle there. Adamo with his 8th foxhole shot in his career. But Langenfelder just in a class of his own at the moment. Looks like he's out on a training ride. Good ride this from McClellan, 5th position at the moment. De Wolf on lap 11, putting in his best lap of the race, 2:05.8. Everts latching onto him, 2:06.2, his best lap. Likewise for Valin, 2:06.4. There is Valin just passing by now. But Camden McClellan, number 8, Monster Energy Triumph. Looking for a top 5 finish. Here comes De Wolf though. So Camden McClellan actually finding his way up into 4th place. And Perez under attack from De Wolf, who goes nice and tight to the inside through the final turn. Just looking at Perez splits. Yeah, lost a bit too much time in sector 3. Well, he's been off, hasn't he? Because he lost about 10 seconds. So coming up towards us here, McClellan now up to 4th, Perez down to 5th. Definitely made a mistake, whether it was off track or on the ground, as in a fall. And De Wolf now hounding the Spaniard. He's got his teammate closing in behind him in 7th, Liam Evans. But sector 3 is where we are now, just coming into this right-hander. De Wolf looking to go the long way round here. A little bit muddy and sticky though. Tries to dig into that dry line, which was so effective in the first race of the day, the 125 race. Didn't work out there, but can he? No, he can't. Now he's looking for something else. Staying out of deep ruts, looking and searching. That was nice, actually, doing what he did there. Probably into unknown territory. Oh, he's alongside and into the rear wheel. De Wolf snapping at the rear wheel there of Perez. And while Perez is keeping De Wolf behind him here, McClellan starting to escape. Almost 3 seconds clear in 4th place. 3 laps to go. Look at Everts here closing in on his teammate, the two Stan Husqvarna's, line astern. De Wolf and Everts, 6th and 7th. Perez, after picking himself up from a mistake, now being very stubborn in that 5th place. Bit of a moment there for De Wolf, too close to the bank. Lost his right foot peg, or foot pegging, I should say. And that's allowed Everts to get right onto the rear wheel and alongside him as they prepare to hit the quad. Both simultaneously scrub the same way. But De Wolf hanging on for now in that 6th position. And Everts will take advantage of this outside line, inside cutback, and he does find his way through, helped by the fact that De Wolf wasn't clean getting out of that left-hand turn. Had all kinds of problems, doesn't matter. Everts through and into 6th place. Look at De Wolf over there. And Everts outside, inside. De Wolf knew it was coming.
Second place, 5 seconds back. Oriol Oliver.
So the 2-lap board has gone out. Simon Längenfelder 5 seconds clear of Sacha Koenen. Oriol Oliver looking for his first top 3 finish. About 4 seconds further back. Then 15 behind him is McClellan, Perez, Everts, De Wolf and Vallat. Then a gap back to Braceras, who's over the line now. Here's Andrea Adamo, 10th place for the Red Bull KTM rider. And he's all over the back of Braceras, isn't he? Just avoiding the roost off the back of the JM Honda. Behind him, Kaz Volk on the Van Brie KTM, and Thibaut Beneston on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Damo had a difficult weekend in Latvia, 11th and 9th. Just one of those weekends that didn't seem to go well for him at all. 10th overall for the 2nd time this year. Of course, Argentina, he was 10th overall because he had a technical issue. 10th overall in Latvia. Everts. Oh, and De Wolf again lighting up the back end on that chalk rock. There, look, can't see it, but it's just white crowning rock, the other side of that berm, causing problematic issues for the number 1. And this is a prepped track. 30 years ago, you would have, there would have been no water on the track, and it would have just been sheet rock. Oh, Sacha Koenen. Going into the final lap, you don't want to be laying it down there and giving Oliver an opportunity. Hanging on to that 2nd place, though. 4 seconds clear of the Spaniard. Sacha Koenen, though, looking to build momentum in his season. 3 podiums and 4 rounds. 3rd overall in Spain, round 8, round 9 in France, he was 3rd. Got a win in Latvia last time out 2 weeks ago. So the consistency now starting to fall his way. But Simon Längenfelder, majestic here today so far. Victorious in the qualifying race. Didn't panic when he made a poor start in muddy conditions after the track had been freshly watered because of the windy conditions and the warm temperatures that we're having here this weekend, although slightly cooler, but that wind is is the issue more than anything else, because these type of circuits, this type of ground, dries very, very quickly. Simon Längenfelder, very well prepared, got all of his goggles intact, unlike some of the other riders. Looked like they were out of laminates. But the number 27 will round out the final turn. He will win race 1 at Matterley Basin. His 6th race win of the season. The most wins from anybody in MX2 so far this year. And he will extend his lead at the top of the championship over Andrea Adamo to 45 points.
Fair play, here we go.
Coonan over the line 2nd. Oliver does get that 3rd. McClellan will cross the line 4th. Ferrez and Everts, nothing in it between them. 2/10 as they hit the line. Everts with his fastest lap of the race. De Wolf 7, Valane, Braceras 9. Maybe because he's got Adamo breathing down his neck. We'll worry about that in a moment, though. Adamo 10, Beniston did get to 11, and Volk 12.
In one way that was predictable because Langenfelder won. In two, it was really unpredictable, and the man who finished 3rd.
Yeah, good to see him fist bump. Throwing away the race lead. Like I said, he's been riding so good of late, so credit to him.
So just let the rest of the riders come through here. Get them over the line, and we will go down to Lisa Leyland, who will grab a quick word with Simon Längenfelder. But 6 race wins now for the season. And Simon Längenfelder in a class of his own today so far. Here he is.
Champion previously and stuff like that, and he just couldn't.
Simon Längenfelder, congratulations. Not the best start for you, so you did have quite a lot of work to do, but you applied the pressure to your teammate, you got the job done. You're on a different league at the moment.
Well, after that start, I was struggling a little bit. It was so slippery in the beginning, and I used so many tear-offs. So then when I actually came to Sasha, I ran out. But yeah, could make the pass and build a small gap to finish first. Super happy.
Good luck for the second race.
Okay, my bad. Maybe he did run out of tear-offs at some point. But Simon Längenfelder, 5.4 seconds clear. A methodical ride to the front after a poor start by his standards. The Red Bull KTM rider taking his 6th race win of the season to move 45 points clear at the top of the championship standings as we head into race 2. Take a look at the highlights of the race then, shall we? The 10th round of the FI, the 12th round of the FI Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Great Britain at Matterley Basin. And MX2 race 1, Andrea Adamo round the first turn over the Fox hole shot line ahead of everybody else. Sasha Coonan right there behind him, and 51, Oriol Oliver. Langenfelder got pushed back a couple of positions in the first few corners, but on the opening lap, the rider in a hurry was Oliver. He moved past Adamo to take over the lead on lap 1. Guillaume Ferrez moved past Langenfelder to move into 5th around about the same time. Top of your screen, Adamo then tipped out of 2nd place, remounted in 10th position. And when you're thinking of the championship, that was a costly mistake for him at the top of the standings. Langenfelder then got into his flow. He moved past the 22 of Braceras to move into 3rd. That was on lap 5. He then went after Ferrez. That put him into 2nd. And then your race leader. Everything looked like it was going so well until this moment. Oliver threw it away. Coonan took over the lead. Oliver picked himself up in 2nd. Langenfelder, though, in 3rd. Needed a couple of laps just to find his way past the Spaniard. And then when he got the opportunity to move by Coonan, he took it with both hands. And he went on to win comfortably as well. Langenfelder with his 6th win of the year from Sasha Coonan, Oliver, McClellan and Ferrez. Let's give you the result then. Simon Längenfelder picking up 25 points for the 6th time this year from Sasha Coonan, Oriol Oliver, Camden McClellan and Ferrez. The 2 Monster Energy triumphs there, flying astern in 4th and 5th. Everts, De Wolf and Valin rounding out your top 8. Braceras 9, and Adamo. And then Thibaut Beniston, 11th, Volk 12, Prunier, Latta, Racialis, and Cars Makers. Then Olsen, Warnes, Smith, and Bicalio picking up the final points.
Okay, I've made my way down here to the start area.
Take a look at the foxhole shot then, right at the start of the race. And Andrea Adamo, for the 8th time in his career, didn't have to wait too long. Erne race 2 was his last. Guy Lister, the Fox dealer, handing him the black plate this weekend. But it's Sasha Kunin who leads away with 8. From Adamo, who is now on 4, Langenfelder on 4, and Everts with 2, and then we've got a handful of riders on 1 behind them.
How different was the track this morning compared to yesterday? Obviously, it was quite dry.
Right, take a look at some of the best moments, shall we?
The track crew, it looks like a different circuit out there than today.
Simon Längenfelder, your winner from race 1 in MX2. Join us in a couple of minutes when we return for MXGP race 2. We'll see you then. Race 1 even.